Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Rachel.
And welcome to Leisure Bit. And today we're coming to you from the CB Inn, which is a pub stopover in Arkengarthdale, and also from Reeth. So let's go and take a look. We pick up our journey today at Grinton, which is a village just on the outskirts of Reeth. We head over the River Swale, and we're now heading towards Low Fremington, and we pass the Dales Bike Centre, which you can hire bikes from. There's also a cafe there, and we're now in Low Fremington. As we head out of Low Fremington, we come to a humpback bridge, which is over Beck, which runs down Arkengarthdale, and just take care when going over the bridge. There's not generally enough room for two large vehicles to pass going over, as you can see here. We're now entering Reeth. We're now entering Reeth, where there's a number of greens, and you are able to park on some of the greens if there's no space in the main section. There's a charge for parking there via an honesty box, and it's £1 for half a day and £2 to park all day on the green. There was a sign up at this point as it was the Jubilee weekend coming up, just to say everything had to be moved off by 6 p.m. The hill in the background with the stone top is called Fremington Edge, and it's a very popular climb for walkers visiting Reeth. You can see there the parking information and the honesty box as well. When there's an event on in Reeth, the square's blocked off with cones to stop people parking there. This was for the Jubilee, but there's also normally a market on a Friday in Reeth. There's a variety of shops in Reeth. There are also pubs, cafes, and there's even a museum. The Black Bull dates back to the 1860s and is the oldest surviving inn in Reeth. There's also the National Park Centre, which has a really nice orchard just to the left-hand side of it, and you can go in there and have a look around. There was some artwork on display in the conservatory just to the right-hand side. There's no charge to have a look around the orchard, and I'd highly recommend if you're going to Reeth. That concludes our very brief tour of the orchard in Reeth. There's a nice ice cream parlour and also the White House. Let's take a quick look back there across the greens before we head down towards the river. You can follow the path down towards where we've just come through there near the White House, which takes you down towards the river. You cut through this, you then take a left when you come out here, go down to the end, take a right, and then you can just follow the track down to the river. Just looking up the hillside there, you can see Reeth School. Looking down towards the river there used to be a path that ran down pretty much where that fence and wall is. You can see it's closed off there, but there was some storms and it washed away a lot of the bank down there, so there's quite a lengthy diversion now to get down to the swing bridge. We decided to walk to a place called Healaugh, where the stepping stones are, and then come back via the swing bridge on the other side of the river. So we're just wandering down that way now, which is across meadowland. Generally quite a few sheep in the field, so make sure you keep your dog on a lead and under control. And we'll head now towards the stepping stones at Healaugh. Here's where the path diverts down. And now we're down by the riverside. We've arrived now at the stepping stones, and Roxy's got started by swimming across rather than climbing across them. So let's see how Rachel gets on going across. Roxy's enjoying herself in the river there. So let's make our way across the stepping stones at Healaugh.
Hello.
Hello. Do you like that? Did you like that?
Let's take a quick look around from the air now. It was a little bit overcast when we visited. It's absolutely stunning in the sun. For the route back, we follow the Swale Trail, and that's a public bridle way which a lot of people cycle on as well as walk on. We're now at the Swing Bridge, and despite the name, the Reeth Swing Bridge doesn't actually swing. Nonetheless, it's a pretty bridge spanning the River Swale. Built in 1920, the original bridge was destroyed after an uprooted tree carried by floodwater collided with it. A replica was built in 2002 as a replacement. You can see the route the original path took there, which would take you straight up to where we saw where the route was diverted, but unfortunately you can see the bit there where it was washed away, and that hasn't been repaired as yet. We'll now leave the Swing Bridge and head on our way towards Grinton. We're now at St Andrew's Church in Grinton, which has been known as the Cathedral of the Dales. Let's take a very quick look inside. You can probably see it's just started to rain, so we thought we'd nip into the bridge at Grinton for a quick break. Suitably refreshed, we're now heading on our way, and here's the bridge over the River Swale at Grinton. We'll now cut across the fields on our journey on the way back to Reeth. There's the bridge we came over on the way, the one you have to be a little bit careful on to make sure it's clear before passing across. Now we're heading back into Reeth. To save walking up the road, you can cut up here to the right and it brings you out on the green. The Swaledale Museum and shop are just to the right there. Now we're back on the green. We'll just take another look around before we head off from Reeth. The walk we've just done was probably 4.5–5 miles down to Healaugh, across the stepping stones, back down to Grinton and then back up to Reeth. Lovely walk and absolutely amazing on a bright sunny day. There's also the Buck Inn. All of the pubs in Reeth have always been very nice when we've been there, so definitely worth checking out if you're visiting. There's also public toilets in Reeth as well that you can see there. Just a couple of clips of them getting ready for the Jubilee celebration on the following day. This was the Thursday. We're now going to head off for the CB Inn, which is our overnight stay. It's a pub stopover, and on the way just going to stop at Labrador, which is just at the head of Arkengarthdale and has some lovely views down from there, as we're a little bit early, so just thought I'd stop for 10–15 minutes before heading to the CB Inn. There's also some nice walks you can do from this stopping point. Right, now we'll head off to the CB Inn in Arkengarthdale for our pub stopover. We're now heading through Langthwaite. You often see free-range chickens at the side of the road, so just drive carefully through here. We can see the CB Inn now coming up on the right hand side as we turn into it. We parked at the bottom end of the car park, so we were out the way, and there was lovely views from that point. You could see right across Arkengarthdale and down towards Langthwaite. Really beautiful. There's a small children's play area at the CB Inn as well. There's also a reasonably large car park with room for plenty of cars and plenty of space to turn round in your motorhome or campervan. This was the view out of the back door. I think it's time to pop inside now for a couple of beers before dinner. The section we're sat in here is very dog friendly, so you can take your dog in this part of it. There are other areas if you want to eat without a dog, for example. This was at the lower ground floor, often used for events and weddings, I believe. There's even a little snooker table here. There's a lovely footpath heading towards Hurst, which is probably about 20-30 yards up the road. Fantastic as it's walled in on either side, so great for taking Roxy for a little stretch of the legs on the morning. I can see the pub from here. You can see the road down there to Langthwaite, and just looking across here you can see the road there heading up towards Tan Hill. Head back to the campervan now and have a quick look around. Before then we head off for some breakfast in the CB Inn. They were serving breakfast from 8 o'clock in the morning, which is great as we were going to head off after we had breakfast. So let's pop in now and grab some breakfast. It was absolutely delicious. Just have a final look around now before we head off. The people at the CB Inn couldn't have been more friendly. It was a lovely quiet stopover in the car park, and we had 2 delicious meals, so would highly recommend going and staying there. And the beauty of it is there's no charge for your campervan, providing you're eating or drinking or both in the CB Inn. So that's the CB Inn in Arkengarthdale and Reeth. So Rachel, what did you think of the CB Inn and Arkengarthdale?
The CB Inn was absolutely fantastic. As you can see, we were right at the end of the car park. Food, out of this world. Atmosphere, honestly couldn't fault it. Everybody was just so friendly and lovely. And Arkengarthdale, what isn't there to love? It is simply beautiful. Love it. What about you?
Yeah, oh, it was brilliant. Nice quiet night as well, because you always worry about that a bit, don't you, if you stop over in a pub car park. And you know, you can't beat it. We'd have probably gone there and had a meal anyway, but to be able to stay over in the car park, and you know, at the moment they're not charging anything for that. That's brilliant. So yeah, you can't fault it, can you? And Reeth's a lovely little town village as well. So there we go.
If you've never ever been to this area, I would urge you to come. It is just beautiful, beautiful.
And there's so much more to discover as well. Thank you for watching.
I hope you've enjoyed it.
Catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.